Well, Woody Allen,
Woody
yeah.
Allen, everything,
Every actor wants to work with Woody Allen. He's one of the greatest actors, directors that exist. And his writing is...
incredible, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's nominated for 24 Academy Awards, and most of them are for writing. And so it's a real privilege for an actor to have an opportunity to work with Woody.
Yeah, truly. I mean, I think out of, in my whole life, I mean, I'm 42 years old now, and if I look back on my childhood, I remember seeing Woody Allen films before probably most of the other films I saw at that time, with the possible exception of Bugsy Malone and Grease. I think he's sort of been, he's been a part of my, I suppose, education in movies and films that I've been inspired by. And so to receive that phone call, Woody Allen would like to work with you. I go, what? It's a very, very overwhelming feeling.
Yes, because it's exciting on one hand that you're going to have this opportunity, but then it's an incredible responsibility to deliver your best performance.
Yes. It was very, it was really exhilarating ultimately, because we all had to work together. It was a very small crew, obviously small cast, but it was very calm on the set, extremely professional. We had a lot of work to get done in a short period of time. We only had 30 days to make the film. Most film shoots are normally, double that amount of time. And so we had to be on our A game from the moment we started shooting.
The moment we walked on the set.
Yeah.
And we would walk on the set in costume, in makeup. Woody never saw us outside in our street clothes. It was always in character, in the set. So he created this environment and this world that we felt constantly. Yeah. And he only saw us in these characters also.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was amazing. And hard, because we had a lot of work to get done, and everyone wanted to do their best, and so the level of focus was really extraordinary.
Extraordinary, and really, I was really grateful for it. I loved working at that really high level of focus and concentration. Where I get in trouble on other things is when I don't feel like everybody's as focused as I am. And here, everybody was focused. It was always about the work. It was always about the scene. And
yes.
Creating the authenticity of the relationships was beautiful. Well, I took my cue at the character from the name Humpty. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty was a big character, big and round like I was, and fragile edges and hollow inside. And so that was my metaphor for the character, that he was very hollow and very fragile, and he needed Ginny more than, literally the line is in the script, he will die without her. So it was a high jeopardy situation for me. So I played him as being, protective of that shell, but at any moment he could fall apart.
And Ginny, my character, she, she's a woman who spends every day of her life wondering what on earth she did to be living this life every day. Everything about it is not what she wanted, it's not what she planned, and she wants to change it. She's constantly trying to find ways to move beyond it, have another life, go back to the way it once was, move forward into something new, and yet she's totally and utterly stuck. And she's a woman who is full of regret. She really believes that her failed marriage that happened in her past, that the audience never sees, but she talks about all the time, this lost love that she destroyed. She absolutely believes that this is her curse. This is the reason why she didn't become a successful actress. This is why she isn't married to a man she truly loves. This is why she drinks. It's why she's a bad mother. It's why her son has problems. And it's why she can't see into the future. And so when she meets Mickey, the lifeguard, played by Justin Timberlake, suddenly there's this glimmer of hope. And she would risk throwing it all away just for the chance of a new beginning. And it's really, really, really tragic.
That's interesting because her character has brought along in the story by choices she made. My character is brought along in the story by the losing his wife and losing his child, and he feels more of a victim. I mean, he feels like all this stuff around him happened to him. And your character is by the choices, even the choice to be with Mickey is a choice, active choice. So it's interesting, the contrast of their loss. My experience with Kate, well, she was very, 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 very good to work with. She was always present, always focused, always about the scene, very generous. And she would bring me coffee and tea, and I would give her my clothes at the end of the day. She'd take them home. She'd launder them for me. She'd fold them. She'd bring them for me. She was so lovely. Anytime I was hungry, she would go in the kitchen and make me little ham sandwiches. Very generous to her actors.
But I was part of a team. We were in this team together.
She was a team captain for sure.
And I felt like I had to be. I felt like I had to be the leader. Because we all needed looking out for, and there had to be that sense of commitment and integrity, and I felt like that had to start with me, really.
Yes, and she was, boom, 100% every minute of the day, and it allowed us to commit to that level, and she was really, for an actor, she was an acting leader.
Have you been to Japan?
I've never been to Japan.
No, I've only been once for 24 hours, but I'd love to go back. Maybe you could invite us one day.
Yes, the only image I have is the Bill Murray movie, Lost in Translation.
Yeah, yes.
And Billy's a friend of mine, so.
Coney Island, 1950s. The beach, the boardwalk. I work here on Base 7. Enter Carolina.
Excuse me, do you have Jenny's here?
I'm Jenny.
I'm Humpty's daughter. You're his wife?
Is he gonna be surprised?
I'm marked.
That's what you get when you marry a gangster. I gotta have a drink.
No, Humpty, you've been good.
God damn it!
She's very pretty, but somewhere there's a tragic flaw.
You're looking for Humpty's daughter? You would never try to hide her, would you?
夫の娘が現れた時、4人の運命が狂い始める。
Oh God! Now my head is pounding.
Is that a gun?
They're gonna kill me.
Crazy to me.
I know what it is you did.
Take an aspirin.
I want a Scotch!
Don't you think you're being a little melodramatic?
女と男の観覧車。